an important announcement which was not announced. We have started late. Is Vaidya Vilas Nanal sir. Vaidya Vilas Nanal sir needs no introduction. But still, for the gathering, I introduce Vaidya Vilas Nanal sir. Vaidya Vilas Nanal sir has a vast experience, clinical experience in Ayurveda. He is professor of Kaya Chikitsa in Tilak Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya. He is the honorable physician in Kaya Chikitsa department in Seth Tarachand Ramnath Ayurveda Hospital for the last many years. Reciting the good qualities of a physician, Charak says that Shrute Paryavadat Tattvam Bahusho Drushta Karmata Dakshyam Sauchyam Iti Jnayam Vaidyo Guna Chatushtayam. A clear vision in theory, extensive practical experience, skill and purity. These are the qualities of a physician which we always see in Vaidya Vilas Nanal sir. To please begin with his lecture. Please welcome Vaidya Vilas Nanal sir.
We have started late. So, my previous speaker has spoken about basics. So, there may be some repetitions. If I find that there are some repetitions, I'll skip through the slide. I hope you will understand. So, the Asrik and Lohit and Kshataj, out of all the things, these three I have taken as Asu Vikshepane Dhatu, which is a clear indicator for circulatory nature of blood, moving. Lohit is color related. This is a clear indication of its association with Pitta. And Kshataja, Kshatat Jayate or Sravati Kshatat iti Kshatajam. This gives you an idea about the interrelationship between Mausadhatu and Raktadhatu. Shashti Mausadharanam Yasmin Raktavahi Sira Bhavanti iti. Now, Rakta has been accepted as Pranayatan. So, inclusion of blood in 10 sites of prana concentration harbors the 12 pranas, etc. Rakta being Agneya in nature, out of the 12 pranas, mainly Pitta and Agni and Pranavayu, they dominate the Rakta. Mainly they are associated with Rakta Dhatu. And compared to that, their concentration, the other pranas, there are 12 pranas, we are all aware of that. In Pranavasrotas, I talked elaborately upon 12 pranas. So, the remaining pranas, Vayu, Som, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, Panchendriyani, Bhutatma, these are all present there, but they are comparatively in a lower concentration. So, Rakta is a major contributor in organogenesis also. I am going to speak a little at length on the organogenesis part of the blood. Jivan karma of Rakta. Now, we always quote this sutra from Sharanga Samhita, Navista Pranapavana Sprushtarut Kamalantaram. Now, if we look at it from the Sharir point of view, the inferior vena cava, coming together of both the iliac veins, is around umbilicus, and from there they go upwards to the right atrium to form the inferior vena cava. So, Navista Pranapavana, the beginning of Pranavayu activity is from the inferior vena cava itself. This is nothing to do with the downward movement or upward movement of prana. As is generally, people tend to explain. Annamadana karma, so prana has this capacity to drag it down. No, prana has a capacity to expand, to dilate. And because of this controlled expansion and dilatation, various movements takes place. So, Navista Pranavayu, starting its upward movement, reaches the right side of the heart, Pranava Srotomula. After staying for a short while there, Stitvarut Kamalantaram, Sprushtarut Kamalantaram. After staying for a short while, it is pushed into the lungs to be mixed with Ambara Piyusha. After that interaction, it returns to the heart to be sent again to the body by the action of Udan generating Vyana. Now, this is an important point to be considered. Pran and Udan both are present in the heart itself. One has a capacity to cause dilatation, one has a capacity to cause Vispar, and the other has a capacity to cause Sankoch. So two equal and opposite forces acting together at the same organ, they give rise to a resultant. And this resultant is Vyan. And being a resultant, this can traverse in either of the three directions or in all the three directions, and which can be faster or more powerful than the parent forces. So, Vyano, Mahajavaha, Krutsna Dehachari, these are the adjectives that are used to describe Vyana. Now, process of respiration and the gaseous exchange has been explained in this sutra, Navistha Pranapavana Sprushtarat Kamalantaram. This is given clearly by Sharangdara. The commentary there is also very interesting. People interested should go through that original commentary there. The inferior vena cava begins at the level of umbilicus. From there, the venous blood from the extremities is carried to the right atrium. Thus, Navistha Prana is a reality. There is no need to create any confusion regarding it. Sharangara cites Jiva Raktashaya in the chest while enumerating the 7 ashayas. So this Jiva Raktashaya is corresponding to the heart itself. The heart is the recipient of all the circulating fluid volume, which is red in color and is a homogeneous mixture of Ahara Rasa, Rasadhatu, Raktadhatu, Kled, Udak, Lasika, etc. And that's why we find so many diversely different functions attributed to Raktadhatu. Owing to its pulsating nature and association of Pranavayu, it is named as such. Rakta Panchabhautikatva. Dr. Mrs. Patil talked about the Panchabhautikatva. Out of all the 7 dhatus, Sushruta has described contribution of the Pancha Mahabhutas of only Rakta Dhatu. Visrata, Prithvi, has the peculiar unpleasant smell which attract flies. It is responsible for the nourishing of other Parthiv Bhavas in the body, and its vitiation is manifest as Matsya, Ama, Lohita Gandha in various diseases. Like in Rakta Pitta Pururup, you have Lohita Nishwasaha or Visrata in case of Madhumeha, Pururupas. This indication of Gandha Vikruti is an indicator of Parthivatva, vitiated Parthivatva from the Rakta Dhatu. Its association with Pitta is also contributory. Pitta also has a Visra Guna as one of its natural attributes. Dravata, Jala, to be in a fluid state while circulating in their respective vessels. We have seen that there are various vessels in the body. Out of that, Vatavaha, Pittavaha, Kafavaha, Sira, Raktavaha, Sira, Swasira, Sancharad Raktam, Kuryad, Anyan, Gunanapi was talked about. Now, Sira Purnata is one of the natural actions of normal Rakta. That is, if it is adequately fluid, it will normally perform this function of Sira Purnata. The moment the fluidity is affected adversely, the Sira Purnata is lost. The association with Pitta keeps blood fluid. By Pitta, I mean Agni here, and prevents its coagulation, Askandi. Helps prana in causing dilatation of various pores to facilitate entry of nutrients into the cell cavity. Imparting luster to the skin is also one of the functions of normal Rakta. Raga, Agni. The bright red color of Rakta is due to Agni and its harborer of Pitta. Out of the various skin layers, Tamra is due to Rakta dominance. In Rakta Sarata, the face, soles of hands and feet are red. The Medramani, glans of the penis, is also red, along with the areola. The Padatala Varna, the Patala Varna of Jiva is also from normal Rakta only. If you look at the Dirghayushya Lakshana in case of an infant, the Patal Varna is described by Charak Samhita there. Next comes Spandan, Vayu, the pulsating nature. Now, how is pulsating described? Alternating contraction and relaxation, ceaselessly, in a sequential manner, amounts to pulsation. So, a spanda or a stimulus So it is the nature of Vayu. Generation of a spanda and carriage of a generated impulse is also due to Vayu only. Sparsha Jnanam Asamshayam, infallible perception. I'll talk a little later about this infallible perception or Asamshaya Sparsha Jnana is exclusive characteristic of Rakta according to Sushruta. The role of Asra Visruti is known to all in the treatment of paresthesia, various different kinds of pains or tingling, numbness, or any abnormal sensations, pain, and in case of wound, facilitating healing of the wounds too. Laguta, Akash, lightness associated with apratighat. This Laguta is associated with apratighat, that is free, unhindered access to flow of blood to all body constituents is responsible for the lightness in the body. Laghavam, karma samarthyam. Occlusion leads to heaviness, lethargy, malaise, swelling, etc. Ajirana leads to guruta, utkled, gandakshi kut shoth. The larger the molecule size or the larger the molecules of ama, they cannot penetrate the smaller cell process leading to the above signs like Shotho, Gandakshi, Kutagha, Utkled, Ajirana, etc. The mode of Asamshaya Sparsha Jnana. So this was about the Panchabhautik nature of Rakta and how it is related to various body states of the Rakta. The mode of perception by any sense organ is Sparsha only. Unless there is a contact between the subject and its receptor, there will be no perception of the stimulus. And this has been clearly defined by Charak as Chetas Samvaya Indriya. Sparsha Indriya he describes as Chetas Samvaya Indriya. And basic modality of perception is by touch. So, a contact between the object and the receptor at the behest of mind, manah purasarani indriyani karmakani bhavanti. That's why the mention of mind is important here. So, leads to generation of the specific stimulus. The moment mind pushes or stimulates the sense organ to go forward, come in contact with the stimulus and generate the stimulus. So this generated stimulus is taken to higher centers by the circulating fluid to higher centers for perception and decision making, after which it is carried to the appropriate effect organs, the karmendriyani. Depending upon the nature of action desired, the appropriate karmendriya is selected. The skin evolves from the mode of Asamshaya Sparsha Jnana. We are continuing with that. The skin evolves from the fetal blood in layers of varying thickness, performing exclusive functions. The Vedini layer is responsible for perception of touch with Jnane. The incident stimulus is perceived here and then it is carried from here to higher centers by the circulating Rasa-Rakta complex, Tarpaka for further action and decision making and execution. Depending upon the course of action to be taken, appropriate karmendriya is selected. The impulse from the head is transmitted to the Vedini layer of the effect organ, making it contract to initiate the action of ambulation. Grasp is for hand, hasta. Motor speech, voiding of urine, stool or ejaculation. So the action desired could be any one of these. Hence, Rakta Mokshan is the treatment of choice in these conditions. Charak terms Sparshanendriya as Chetas Samvaya Indriya, which is also very apt. Now, role of Rakta in organogenesis. Why so much emphasis on Rakta by all the authors, especially by Sushruta? In the intrauterine life, the fetal Rakta is involved in formation of various fetal organs which perform various important functions and sustain the life process. The organogenesis is from the Ahara Rasa. It is completely converted to Rakta, which appears as fragments or different states of Rakta, each having a dominant attribute. Rakta has various attributes in it, and depending upon the dominant attribute, the organogenesis changes. Like every dravya, Garbha though Panchabhautik is Saumya Agneya in essence. Maternal Artava is the source of Agneya Bhavas, while the paternal Shukra is the source of the Saumya Bhavas. The process of fertilization has been described by Charak as well as Sushruta Samhita. That is the coming together of Shukra, engulfing of Shukra by Shonita. Pravishtamatra Bijam Shonite Naveshtate Puna described by Kashyapa. After entry, acceptance of Panchamahabhutas, etc., they do find mention, like acceptance, Panchamahabhuta Kalushikruta, Khetabhutaha, Avyakta Vigraha. These are the adjectives used by Charak. Sisrukshu Chetana Dhatuhu. Tatra Purvataram Akashamayopadate Tatonyan Chaturan. And so this is the sequence of acceptance of Mahabhutas. Like every other dravya, Rakta too is Panchabhautik in nature. Hence it exhibits various attributes, some simple while some complex. Simple attributes are Laguta, Visrata, Raga or Dravata. In the process of organogenesis, blood partakes by its attributes and states. No organ is exempt from blood contribution. Hence, an author like Sushruta says, Raktam Jiva iti sthiti. Now, these terms find a repeated mention. Grossly, they are used as synonyms, but on subtler plane, the concept of sar and prasad. There is a mention of this. Garbhashay, Kafashonitam asanam, sarat jivva prajayate, Kafashonitam asanam prasadat, tatosyandrani gudam bastischa jayante. These are the things. So, normally, sar and prasad, these are interchangeable terms. People generally use them to denote a very peculiar, very clear state, which is devoid of waste material in them. So these terms find a repeated mention. Grossly, they are used as synonyms. But on a subtler plane, they are very specific states. Sara means dense, but devoid of innate impurities. Nirmala eva. And prasada means loosely formed with a central cavity, more in the wall of an organ. Peripherally situated. Hence, all the organs derived from prasad are with a central cavity and organic wall which limits the shape of the formed organ and which permits the transmembranous movement. Raktadhara Kala. When the sperm enters the ovum shedding its tail, its journey leads to formation of the primordial srotas and its lining is the first Kala. The Garbha Jatragni is low in intensity compared to its mother. Hence, when the Garbha Rakta is converted molecularly, Tilupak, various membranes form which separate the organs from one another and cause secretion and reabsorption of nutrients or wastes as the case may be. This is essentially the nature and function of Kalas. Mausadhara Kala, it is the innermost and thickest layer of skin which harbors the various vessels in it. The skin layers, I made a mention of this Mausadhara Kala in the Asruk, the Kshataj. The skin layers go on increasing in thickness from the first outermost layer to the innermost layer of the Mausadhara. They increase in complexity too, with varying functions like imparting skin color, luster, perception of touch, wound healing, etc. Every organ wall imparts shape and harbors the nutrient arteries. Kapha, Raktava Srotas and the Panchabhava Mahabhuta, this Madam Patil had talked about. So, the formation of Yakruta and Pliha, she had talked about Samanena Dhmaya Manasya and all that. So here, this is from Ashtanga Sangraha. Kapha Raktava Srotos and Panchamahabhuta Prasadat, they yield the Indriyani. So, contribution of Panchamahabhuta to Kapha and Rakta. Here, Kapha is an important factor. He is not talking about Shleshma, here he is talking about Kapha. So, Kena Jalena Phalati iti Kapha. So, this is Prasad. The peripherally situated part, the receptors are situated always in all the skin only. They are generally situated in the skin. So it is logical that Kapha and Rakta was Srotas, or Kapha and Rakta Prasad, associated with Panchamahabhuta, give rise to the Indriyas only. The clarity of Rasa, Rakta is prerequisite of Asamshaya Sparsha Jnana. Hence, instruments of perceptions have to evolve from the clear portion of Kapha, Rakta and the Panchamahabhutas. The mode of perception is Sparsha, hence they have to be peripheral or Prasada. Yakrut Pliha from Shonit. Clear Acha part of Shonit, when the Garbhashara or Shonita is acted upon by its Agni and organized by Saman Vayu, the clear part forms Yakrut and Pliha. The Acha Pitta which is generated at the end of second Avastha Pak is also from the Yakrut, and the spleen yield Acha Pitta again by destroying the RBCs. The Medakshay causes retrograde Pliha Vriddhi to accommodate the liberated fluid which is Acha in nature. Fuffus, Shonita Vein Prabhav. The role of Fuffus is in gaseous exchange, and in order to perform it optimally, it needs to be a unilayered sac like the alveoli. The osmolarity of blood is affected by various solutes in it, and the stability of the froth is also affected by the same. We have seen that water also yields froth, but it is not stable. For the froth to be stable, you need some soluble in it. So soap water has capacity to generate froth, and which stays also put. Froth is an important consideration while looking for the Sneha Siddhi Lakshanani. Fena Pradurбhavas Taile, Fena Shantishta Sarpishi. So these are the things which indicate the osmolarity and its relation to blood in the body. So when the blood comes from the heart to the lungs and it mixes with the forcibly entering pranavayu, the result is froth. And if this froth is adequate, there is no problem. The moment the froth is improper, there are abnormal conditions like hikka, shwas, kas, etc. Asruk and Shleshma Prasad helped by heat of pitta and mobility of vayu. Antra, Guda, Basti. All these organs are with large central cavity that permit transmembranous movement across their walls that are lined by mucous membrane, squamous cells, epithelial cells, etc. Kapha Shonita Mansa Prasada Jiva. Kapha Shonita Sarat Jiva. Prasad has been wrongly typed there. Sarat Jiva Prajayate. The fetal position is Avakshiras. The fetus is generally with the head down. Hence the pure but dense portion of Kapha, Shonita and Mausa accumulates in the buccal cavity. In an organized manner, it leads to formation of the tongue. Kapha, Mausa are Shlakshnai while Rakta is fluid. Hence we have a comparatively solid yet moist organ that is capable of perceiving gustatory stimuli. Vayu associated with appropriate heat forms various rotas entities capable for permitting transmembranous movements. This can be best understood if you have visited a glass factory. The boiling matrix is there. A blob from that is taken to a long tube and through which air is blown of various varying intensities. That can give rise to various end products. Though the basic material is same, depending upon the kind of function that is expected of the final finished good. The force of air, the temperature of the glass matrix is the deciding factor. So, Yathartha Mushmana Yukto Vayu Srotamsi Dharayet. So, Yathartha Mushmana Yukto is important, and the Tika from Gaidas is also very interesting there. Now, Srotas is the space within internal environment which is a continuum of various spaces that are capable of transmembranous bidirectional movement. Sravanat Srotamasi. The action is important, Sravan here, to either secrete or be reabsorbed. The transmembranous movement, the movement along the length, only along the length is not intended here. So, Sravanat Srotamasi. So, Vayu in association with intensity of Pitta penetrates the muscle mass from various directions, forming various individuals. The shape of the individual muscle, the texture of individual muscle is dependent on the function it is expected of them in the later life, like a lumbrical muscle situated in the palm, has a very short course as well as has a very short belly. Whereas the muscles like gluteus, they have a thick belly, they also have a short course, but the bellies are thick. Because one is a postural muscle, the other is a muscle where all the dexterous activity or coordinated activity are responsible. So there is no point in having a very thick lumbrical muscle and a very thin gluteus muscle. So depending upon the kind of function that will be expected of that particular muscle in the later life, the muscle mass, primordial muscle mass is shaped accordingly. The postural muscles are generally long, tough, thick, dense, while muscles involved in coordinated activity are soft, supple and slender. These are the terms used by Sushruta only. Various shapes exhibited as per the need are round, triangular, serrated, worm-like, etc. The lumbrical is worm-like. Round is teres, the muscles of the shoulder girdle. Triangular muscle, the deltoid. The serrated muscle, the serratus anterior, serratus posterior, etc. Rakta Meda Prasadat Vrukkav. Vrukkav are the Medo Srotomula. Their function is Kledavahan, while Snehadharan is the implied meaning. So their waste, fluid waste to be excreted as urine is the main function. But while excreting the fluid waste, the important function that is performed by the Vrukkav is retention of the fat or retention of the Snehadhatu or Sneha in Sanna. That's why they are called as Medo Srotomul. The moment there is clarity or color or consistency of urine is indicator of its normality. Appearance of unctuousness, turbidity generally indicate Mutrava Srotodushti. Perinephric fat pad is indicative of Meda Pushti by Vrukkav. You may lose any amount of weight, but so long as the perinephric fat pad is intact, the changes could be reversed. The moment the perinephric fat pad is depleted, the changes become irreversible. Kafamed Mausa Asruk Prasadat Vrushanam. Now Shlakshanata, Guruta, Snigdhata, Shaitya of Kapha, Med and Mausa, on coming together, they form the Vrushanam. So these are the common attributes there. And if you look at the properties of Shukra later on, these are the attributes which are again find mentioned. The central cavity of the seminiferous tubules is due to the prasad of, or the heaviness of Shukra makes it slow converter and takes 1 month to form. Shonita Kapha Prasadat Hridaya. In this case, Kapha is to be taken to mean the Kaphashrayas, mainly the Rasa, Mas, Med, Majja, Shukra, Ojas, etc. Each one of them partake in the formation of heart. The outer cover is by white fibrous tissue. The Shlakshanata is taken into account here. The middle layer is by Mausa. The Guruta is important here. And the innermost layer by Rakta, Med. The Kharapak of Rakta and Med together to give rise to the syncytial arrangement internally. So, the Shlakshanata again is important here. The effective guna is Shlakshana. Shonit Kitta Prabha Undu. The junction between the Pachamanashay and the Pakvashay is the Unduk that harbors the beginning of Maladhara Kala. The Annadrava gradually organizes itself into solid waste, Purisha, and Adhovayu as a result of vigorous absorptive activity throughout the colon. But the activity begins in Unduka, where the Sara is absorbed as Ahar Rasa. Thus now it will be apparent that Rakta plays a pivotal role in the organogenesis, and similar fractions go to nourish the organs formed in the intrauterine life. The Shonit vein that is responsible for formation of lungs is also responsible for its nourishment and functionality. So if we have to summarize, these are the bullet points. Rakta is a pranayatan, specific panchabhautikatva, plays a very pivotal role in organogenesis, specific role in asamshaya sparsha jnana, attributed harborer of pitta, attributed state of the doshas. Some people attribute a status of dosha to it. Attributed individual set of diseases, Shonita Prabhav Vyadhi, being Dhatu exhibits Sarata, Dushti and Vishuddha state also, attributed separate Panchakarma status, Raktamoksha. So, I thank you all for listening to me and good luck.
Very much again, I request Dr. Nitin Kamath sir to please felicitate Vaidya Vilas Nanal sir. Finished his lecture.